My son's fiancé is dissing my younger son, aka my older son's brother, because he came out as gay. And well, apparently my son's fiancé does not like that very much. So even if it's not her business, which it obviously isn't, you won't believe what she decided to do at a family dinner. Hello everyone, my name's Abby. I'm new to this website, so please excuse me if I'm doing something wrong. I'm a mother of two sons, Derek and Samuel, 30 and 23. My eldest, Derek, is getting married to this seemingly sweet and kind girl, Ellison. They've been dating since they were in college, and she's been over to our house during holidays a few times. Recently, they asked me to help them pay for their wedding, and I thought that I would help them out as I have put aside money for both my sons' weddings. I knew Ellison before the engagement, and we met a couple times before the wedding for wedding preparations. And I really liked that girl and approved of that marriage. Another incident happened a few days ago. About a week before Derek and Ellison's wedding, my youngest son came out as gay, and my family, and I'm Christian, but I'm not against it or rigid for that matter. I try to respect everybody's choices of being who they are, even though I don't broadcast it. Unfortunately, I wasn't raised that way. However, when my son told me about his choice, I was a bit taken back. Samuel's always been a very strong, boyish boy, and my eldest son tells me that those are no longer the traits of a straight man anymore, and it can be offensive. I'm going to change how I think about these things going forward from now on. So, when he came out to me, I tried to be supportive. And the truth is, I am supportive. I just needed time to wrap my head around the fact that my kid is gay. I soon realized it wasn't a big deal. He was still Samuel. Instead of a girlfriend, he would bring home a boyfriend. I accept that. My Samuel is very strong on the outside. He loves going to the gym and staying fit, but he can be very sensitive on the inside. He's very introverted and overthinks a lot, which usually leads to a bunch of anxiety and stress. I don't want my son to feel that way in regard to how his family viewed him after he came out, so I immediately reassured him that I loved him and respected him, and the same as he did before. I told him that I loved him and nothing was going to change that. I've always been very close to both my sons, and they've been my whole world ever since they were born, and their well-being has always been my top priority. In this situation, I knew that he needed my reassurance and support the most, so I gave that to him. I think that really helped him settling himself, and my eldest son even made some jokes to make Samuel feel normal, just like he used to tease him about girls, just this time with boys. You see, both of my sons have a little bit of an age gap between them. However, Derek has always been protective of his little brother. Oftentimes, he knew how to get Samuel when I couldn't. They have been this way since Samuel's birth, and Derek used to take care of his younger brother while I was away at work sometimes, or if there was any issue with the babysitter. So I think his eldest brother accepted him and joking with him like it was all normal, making him feel more comfortable. The day after Samuel came out, I organized a small family dinner. It was just me, my husband, my two sons, and my future daughter-in-law. I just wanted a quiet, peaceful dinner before Derek and Ellison married. I didn't think my daughter-in-law would be against my son being gay. She was so kind and soft-spoken, and of course, that doesn't mean that people like this can't be evil. But before this dinner, I had not thought that way at all. I was still going to be changing my mindset in regards to this. The dinner was going well. My husband Samuel and Derek were talking about a football game or something, and I liked that Samuel was coming out of his shell after not talking much the day before, just after he had come out to us. On the other hand, Ellison kept me company. During the dinner, Derek made a gay joke about Samuel to lighten the mood in regards to him, and Ellison overheard the comment. However, Ellison's reaction to the joke was very, very unexpected. Ellison told her fiancé not to joke about that, stating that she can't tolerate such people, rendering the whole table speechless. My husband and Derek looked at me and, just to tell me that, what should we do in such an uncomfortable situation? While Samuel kept looking down at his food, not making eye contact with anyone. I didn't want my son to have to hide himself from anyone ever in his life. Samuel deserves to live with his head held high, even though, there's somebody at the table who did not agree with him, and I intended to show him that the thought that he had every right to do what he wanted. Hence, I told Ellison that Samuel came out as gay to us the day before, and she immediately stood up. She flung her cutlery on her plate without regard to anyone or anything, which really made me mad. She told Derek to stop living in this house and get out. Derek and Ellison had recently bought a house together, and they were to move in there in just a few days. Hence, Derek has been living with us for the past few weeks. Ellison was living with her own parents before their lease began on the new house, and I could not believe she could talk like this to the people who was so generously helping them get settled. Ellison told Derek to stay away from people like us, and that she could not be around us either. She explained that she was brought up in a very religious household and community, and because of being raised in an extremely religious household, she and Derek can't live around people like us. So I was beyond angry at this woman who treated my son with disrespect in my house. So I stood up and told her to leave. I said that no one like her was allowed at my dinner table, and disrespect me or my family will not be tolerated. Ellison grabbed Derek's arm and led him out the door. I shut the door immediately when they were gone, beyond angry at Derek for not taking a stand for his younger brother. I hoped that he would talk to his future wife in regards to what's acceptable behavior at someone else's house, or not expect us at their wedding at all. I still can't believe that woman's audacity. On one hand, she has no issue accepting money from me for her wedding, and then she can't even pretend to respect me and my family in my own home. Shameless woman, I tell you. I hate such people. Religion is not an excuse to be disrespectful and crappy human beings to others. And I've decided that I will no longer be paying for the wedding of theirs at all. And, well, Derek better talk to that senseless woman if she expects that I'll be paying for any sort of marriage. For that matter, I actually disapprove of this union. Not that I would say something like that to my son. It would be highly inappropriate, I know. However, their wedding's just a few days later in the evening, and neither of them has called me to apologize. I was supposed to make the payment for the venue a few hours before their actual marriage, but I'll no longer be doing so. Let them scramble. My family and I would not be attending the wedding either. Even my siblings and my husband's siblings have agreed to not go to the wedding without our prompting to do so. Well, I did talk to Samuel. He just told me to get over it. He claimed that he did not care what Ellison thought anyways. However, I think it's very much mattering to me. If she or her future husband can't stay with a family who accepts their son for who they are, I can't attend or pay for a wedding for someone who is like that. I'm writing this because I'm just so angry. I know I'm doing this right, and I don't give a rat's butt if they get married tomorrow or not. I stood up for my son, and that's what every parent's responsibility is. Update number 1. Hey guys, it's Abby again. Today was my eldest son's wedding. However, my close family and I did not attend because my future daughter-in-law is against my son being gay and disrespectful towards me and my family. I did not show up at my son's and his fiancé's wedding with my family, and neither did I pay for the venue like I promised that I would. The venue required me to pay the second half of the money before the wedding, and because I did not pay the next installment, they did not allow Ellison and Derek to progress with the ceremony until they paid the rest of the payment. I had many missed calls from Ellison a few hours before the ceremony, but I ignored them like she ignored her manners when she created a scene at my home. I could not ignore her for so long as she showed up at my house, though, just an hour before the ceremony in her wedding dress. She was very, very angry and threw the bag that she was carrying right at me. It was just me and my son at the house at the time, and she starts throwing all these slurs at me and Samuel, and I sent my son inside so I could deal with the shameless woman alone in peace. Ellison actually accused me intentionally of ruining her special day. I agreed and told her that I did indeed intentionally ruin her special day, after she intentionally disrespected and tried to ruin my son's self-esteem by being a jerk at the dinner. Ellison told me that it had nothing to do with what I actually did. She claimed that I was jealous that my son chose her over me. That's why I did that. Well, you know what, guys? I just straight up laughed in her face and told her that Derek was old enough to decide what he wanted to do, and I stated that the real reason why I did not pay for the wedding of a woman who does not respect me or my family is because she, just that, doesn't respect me or my family. I mean, simple. I claim that if Ellison being religious makes her not tolerate gay people, then I can't tolerate her either. And you know what? She should just go ahead and leave. And, well, she gave me a hearty laugh, and then she threatened me. She said that she would actually make me regret ever messing with her. I reminded her that it was 2023, and I would be just waiting to see her embarrass herself all over again. Well, that ended up not getting married that day. They're postponing their wedding to a date when they can actually afford to have the wedding. So, which would be not anytime soon, because they have no savings after they put down the payment on their new home. My son has not called me even now. I am disappointed in him, of course. I won't force him to stand up for his younger brother, but I'm allowed to feel disappointed in his behavior. Anyways, both Ellison and Derek were humiliated after the guests showed up, but the venue did not let them enter because they have not paid yet. I'm sure that they must have invited their work friends, and they would have been very embarrassed for them. They deserve it, especially Ellison. Update number 2. Hello everyone, Abby is on this side. After that day, Ellison came home, my house in a wedding dress, and threw all these slurs at me and my son's face. Well, guess what? She showed up again. She just straight up demanded that I fulfill my end of the bargain and pay for the venue. I told her that I would do so if she asked my son for forgiveness and then apologized to me and my husband for being disrespectful at dinner. Well, she claimed that she had only shown up as a warning, claiming that I was forcing her to take the next step by not complying. I told her that she just wasted mine and her own time by doing so, and that she should leave. That incident took place a week ago, and since then, Ellison has been dissing me online with lies and rumors. Guys, she's painted me into a monster and made me look like an absolute unreasonable woman. She's been claiming that I'm jealous of her and don't want Derek to marry her because of some stupid reason, claiming that's why they had to postpone the wedding because I manipulated them at the last moment and denied the payment. So they would just have to stop the wedding, and Derek would be my little boy forever and ever and ever. And I could not believe the gall of this shameless woman spreading lies and hiding behind them so that she could keep on doing what she does. Well, on a regular day, that would not have caused me any issue, as I don't care what people really think about me. A lot of her friends and some of my own relatives have been commenting badly about me online as well, which I have also ignored because these people's opinions about me means nothing to me. However, Ellison's friends have been nonstop calling me and just yelling at me for being a horrible mother-in-law. I could not take this character assassination any longer and called Ellison to stop her from lying. I told her that she knew that she was in the wrong, otherwise she would not have hidden the fact that she reacted badly to my son storming out. She said that her reaction to my son doesn't matter. She called me selfish and jealous, and I could not take it any longer and told her to meet with me. I could hear it in her voice that she was exasperated when she told me to meet her at the church. She reminded me that there's still people who are true to God. Maybe meeting at the church would remind me of God's teachings, and I could not have stopped myself from rolling my eyes at her stupid comment if I even tried. Wow. Now, I'm meeting with her at church in just 5 minutes. It's just a short drive from my house, and we're going to be seeing each other in a week's time. I'm going to force her to take the lies down one way or the other. What I can't understand is where Derek has been. I admit that I've been too proud to call him myself, but he hasn't even reached out to his younger brother, not even to apologize for his fiancé's mean comment at dinner. Update number 3. Hey guys, this is Abby on the side again. I want to meet up with the Ellison up at the church today. That snake had something up her sleeve. I should have expected it. Samuel drove me to the church like he always does every Sunday, and I asked him to wait for me, thinking it would not take me longer than 10 minutes inside, but guess what? I was wrong. However, as Ellison had invited her friends and family, I even spotted some townspeople. Ellison got all these people ganged up on me. However, I was not scared or discouraged because these people simply did not scare me. When I reached them, they started yelling at me together, calling me names, and all the while Ellison just stood there smirking at me, and I rolled my eyes at her childish behavior. I walked back out, enraging the people even more, and I was only scared that they might get physical with me. But then I would get an opportunity to hit that shameless woman as well. Maybe, just maybe, that's what I was hoping for. Anyways, I opened up the door of the church, and Samuel, who was parked just a small distance away, looked up from his phone. I gestured him inside, and when the people in the church saw that I wasn't actually running away, they quieted down a little. Before I walked up to the people again, I asked my son if it was okay if I revealed his sexuality to the people, and he shrugged, saying that he doesn't really care for any of those people because their opinions on his sexuality doesn't matter. I felt so proud of him. I told everyone to calm down. At once, in a very, very stern voice. I'm a teacher, and you know what? It kinda shows in my voice, doesn't it? I told them that my son recently came out as gay to me and my family, and after I so graciously invited Ellison into my house for dinner, she starts going on, acting like she does, and, well, I had to ask her to leave the dinner. Then later, she came around and threw slurs at my son for being the way he is. I mean, now she's lying to them all, and I have proof in the form of my son who agreed to it all. I claimed that I would not pay for someone who was disrespectful to me and my family, and to my son. I even told them that I gave her time to come around and apologize. Only then would I pay for the wedding, but guess what? She refused. Ellison starts screaming that I was lying and I'm a jealous mother-in-law and all sorts of things who would just ruin her life because she was taking away my precious baby boy. Wow. However, everyone only looked at her in complete and utter disbelief. I told them I didn't care what they thought about me, they could believe Ellison for all I cared. But I did tell them to stop dragging me into lies and rumors because it's becoming bothersome to me and my family. I think I got to them because as we walked to our car, I heard one of her aunts yell at Ellison for mistreating my son. I only heard a couple of comments, but I deduced that the aunt's daughter was a lesbian, and she could not believe that she was the aunt of somebody who would act like this. I heard her yell that she can't tolerate it either. Oh, okay. I heard some of her friends also chastising Ellison. Now I'm home, and I think those people believe me as I've stopped being tagged on social media, and people have even stopped the commenting of the bad things about me. Some people have even deleted the comments that they left on Ellison's post. Update number 4. Hello everyone, it's Abby, and I confronted Ellison about 2 weeks ago and turned her friend and relatives against her. I have only seen this on social media, but she has lost a lot of friends. I'm assuming that they're the same people in front of whom I exposed her true colors to, because I backed out on paying for the venue the last minute. The responsibility fell on my son and Ellison, and Derek had paid his half of the payment and just was waiting for Ellison to scrounge up her part of the payment to go ahead with the wedding. However, she has not even come up with a penny. I had not said anything to Derek to be proud of myself and disappointed in my eldest son, who I had thought I had raised better. However, my youngest had given him a call and told him to suck it up. Derek had showed up at my house just a week ago. I'd been too angry with him to let him in and just made him talk on the doorstep. He apologized for taking Ellison's side, and he claimed that he did not really know what else to do in such a complicated situation. He also claimed that he was hoping that Ellison just needed time to accept Samuel. But he was wrong. He said that he wasn't aware of Ellison's lies and rumors or the incident that occurred in the church until Samuel told him. I didn't think he was lying, as Derek is just an older version of Samuel and is a huge introvert as well. I left him in, and he heartily apologized for not standing up for what he thought was right. He revealed that he was done with Ellison's behavior as well, and good on him too, as now I had no intention of paying for the wedding even if Ellison had come and begged me on her knees. Derek revealed that he wished to break the engagement. He just wanted my permission to move into our house so that he would have somewhere to live in the time he found himself a place, away from Ellison. I told him that he could move in. Samuel and Derek had picked up from where they left, so I thought that they had made up before Derek even came over. I'm proud of both of my sons, even Derek. He took some time, but I had raised him right, and I should not have doubted him. I should have kept his non-confrontational personality in mind instead of being disappointed in him. Well, Derek revealed that my words had really shown that people, Ellison's true colors, and most of her friends have stopped talking to her. Ellison has been left all alone, and there's no one else to blame but herself. Yesterday, Derek officially broke it off with the engagement to Ellison, and I'm glad that they had to postpone their wedding so that Derek got to see Ellison's true colors and break up with her instead of getting stuck in a marriage to a woman like that. Update number 5. Hello everyone, it's Abby again, and I think it's time to tell you about the aftermath of what happened. It's been 4 months and I don't expect anything else huge to happen after this. Derek and Ellison are officially broken up. Fortunately, Ellison did show up a few days after their breakup to beg Derek to come back. She even promised to ask me and Samuel for forgiveness if it meant that Derek would take her back. I told her that I would never forgive her, not after she tried to humiliate me in front of everybody she knew, and Derek wasn't happy either. He finally stood up for what he believed in, and he told her that he didn't want her to apologize because she was too desperate. He would have preferred if she had actually changed, which he knew she didn't. He made it very clear to her that Samuel meant the world to him. He was his little brother, and he would do anything for him. Ever since that day, we haven't really seen Derek's ex-fiancé, but we have seen a lot of Samuel's new boyfriend. Apparently, they've been dating for a year and just hid it from everyone. I could not believe I haven't picked up on it sooner, as he often brought the boy home and played video games with him. Either way, I like his boyfriend, and I'm glad that he felt comfortable enough to introduce, his friends as his boyfriend to us. Derek, on the other hand, hasn't really dated. I went to see him and set him up with this cute teacher at my school who has just started working there. I think they're going to be great together. However, Derek is still kind of hung up on Ellison. They'd spent a lot of years together after all, so I gave him space. Also, he did find an apartment of his own a month ago and has been living there ever since. And you know what? That's it for the update. Thank you for reading about this unnecessary drama in my life. I hope Ellison never returns to our lives in any shape or form. So, the very ending to this story was interesting, and I noticed a couple comments that were pointing this out. Here it says, Derek and Ellison are officially broke up. Fortunately, Ellison did show up a few days after their breakup to beg Derek to come back. She even promised to ask me and Samuel for forgiveness. Right? Well, that one quote right there, a lot of people were blaming Derek, the brother. Because if he would have just stood up for his brother from the very beginning and said, you know what, I can't be with a person who doesn't love my brother for who he is. I'm done with you. Well, if he would have done that, we wouldn't have gone through this entire hassle, and Ellison would have either apologized right then and there, or their relationship would have been over. Instead, this was drawn out over so many family toxic environments and events, and it just was a toxic environment for OP's son to be in. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about that, guys. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every single day. And if you want to be a part of these day-to-day readings, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.